Right lads, I'm your host, Man And His Kebab, and today, well, first of all, a Merry Christmas to you all, and in light of that, we're going to be ranking the greatest Christmas movies of all time. For anybody who was expecting something a bit more extravagant, blame the local council for not allowing me to decorate the lamppost outside my house. Now, of course, I don't have every Christmas movie that has ever been released on this list, but thankfully all the ones I haven't watched are either A, shit, or B, were released before the Vietnam War, which is okay because I don't know anybody over the age of 60 who has seen A Wonderful Life. In terms of the tiers, well, I couldn't exactly be boring, could I? So I made my own, all relating to Christmas, of course. Starting off at the bottom with Grandma Got Run Over by a Semi-Truck, a spin on the popular Christmas song, which, funnily enough, I haven't heard at all this year. Odd coincidence. Soggy Mince Pies, Mrs. Brown's Boys Christmas specials. I'm not calling them bad or good, but then again, pretty much anybody outside of Ireland or parts of the UK won't know what the hell I'm on about. Tickles Your Yule Log. Yeah, I'll let you guys figure that one out. And I just got the Lego Death Star, because it truly is a gift that keeps on giving. Right, we're just gonna go in order of appearance here, starting off with, I think that's Arthur Christmas. Yeah. This movie is basically if Santa and his elves had the resources equivalent to that of the United States Marine Corps. Good plot, good characters. It's not a personal favourite of mine, but I'm gonna go, straight down the middle. I've probably already annoyed somebody with that decision. Next up, that is Bad Santa. Once again, basically if Trevor Phillips from GTA 5 had his own Christmas movie. Very vulgar yet very funny, and definitely something they could not release in 2021 due to the colourful language. I found this one very funny, so I'm actually going to go with Tickles Your Yule Log. Right, next up, the Drake and Josh Christmas special. Yeah, this is going to be a controversial one for one reason, and I think you guys know that reason. In most regards, it's actually a pretty good movie, especially for something made by Nickelodeon, which, you know, usually, by judging by their quality of previous movies, they don't put themselves at a high standard of movie making for a lot of things they make. The big problem is obviously the fact that this movie stars, you know, Drake Bell. Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight down the middle with this one, and even that is gonna annoy someone, so, sorry. The Big Time Rush Christmas special / Christmas movie. It really depends on what your idea of a movie is. Once again, another Nickelodeon movie, this time starring the fictional boy band Big Time Rush. Yeah, another solid movie, except this one stars Snoop Dogg and not, you know, a pedo. Die Hard, whether or not this is a Christmas movie really comes down to, you know, your personal preference. All I can say is I watched this movie the right way as a kid, by mixing together all the fizzy drinks in my auntie's house in one cup, and downing the entire thing in 5 seconds. Yeah, that sugar rush was basically the equivalent to an acid trip for an 8-year-old. Right, next up, Elf. I think if I put it any lower than that, my house will get burnt down, so I'm just gonna leave it there. A Fairly Odd Christmas. Again, another Nickelodeon movie starring our good friend once again, Drake Bell. I know some people say separate the art from artist or the actor from the movie, but I mean, this movie wasn't great in the first place anyway, so. Gremlins. This one was okay from what I remember watching. I didn't really enjoy it. I'm going to put it here. That's going to annoy a lot of people. Great. Right, I'm just going to actually move this one here. Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. I'm going to pair these together because I think they are very much on equal footing. I know some people will say 2 is better than 1, or 1 is better than 2, or 3 is... No, go away, 3. You go right down the end. You can go away. The main thing I remember about these two movies is Joe Pesci, who plays, I think he plays Harry, yeah, he plays Harry, not Marv, yeah. The entire movie's just, you know, trying not to make a PG movie, a 12s movie with his incessant swearing. Just Daniel Stern as well, who plays Marv, just some of the most iconic lines in all of film, I think. Suck brick, kid! I don't care, these two movies have to go right off the top. If you disagree, that's your opinion. Miracle on 34th Street. I don't really care for this movie either. I've watched it before. Obviously, it's not the original, it's the newer version because the original was released in like 1947, which was 2 years after World War II, which is like 5 times my lifetime ago. Yeah, I just don't really care about that movie. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong. I just don't like it. And this is my ranking of the movies. If it were Rotten Tomatoes rankings, it would probably be at the top, but I'm not Rotten Tomatoes. The Muppets Christmas Carol. This is a masterpiece. I do not care what anybody says. That is the greatest Christmas movie ever made. There will never be a Christmas movie better than The Muppets Christmas Carol. If you have not watched that movie, please go watch it immediately. It is one of the greatest things ever put on the big screen. One of the greatest things ever put in 24 FPS. One of the greatest things ever put in, on a 480p, whatever resolution it was back in... What year was that released? Sometime in the 90s. I don't know. Anybody who disagrees with that, go away. please just click off this video immediately. I probably shouldn't be encouraging people to stop watching my videos, but that is the greatest Christmas movie of all time, and I do not care if you disagree. A Nightmare Before Christmas. Where do I put this? That's the big question. I don't have anything written about this on my script, so I have to, you know, just wing this one. Which is okay, because I only watched it last night, which, well, last night at the time of this recording. Yeah, it's just a masterpiece. It's a musical masterpiece. Would I put it up here? No. If I'm being honest. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong. It's a great movie. I just don't think it belongs up here with The Muppets Christmas Carol and Home Alone 1 and 2. A lot of people are gonna hate me for that one. It's near that level. If I was to put it, I'd put it here if I could, but actually I could create a separate tier. No, because that kind of fucks up the entire system. Right, the Polar Express. A lot of people hate this character. I actually think he's one of the greatest characters ever put in a movie. The memes about him. He's a great character. Some people find him annoying. I don't. Maybe that's because I'm annoying, probably. That would make sense. I also especially love this movie because if you were ever on YouTube in, you know, 2013 to 2015 and lived through the MLG era, which a lot of people absolutely hate the MLG era, and I kind of do, but I also look back on it with a lot of nostalgia. There was like a video of this, of the scene where the train's gonna cross the ice and it's just Tokyo. It's a stupid video, but I constantly, whenever I think of that movie, I automatically associate it with that video. It's a masterpiece. The movie is a masterpiece. I don't care. Right, the Santa Claus trilogy. I'm just going to fix the order up a bit. Yeah, the first Santa Claus movie is definitely the best one in my opinion. It's the most grounded of the three anyway in terms of its plot. As grounded as a movie about Santa falling off a roof and a guy putting on his jacket and becoming Santa can be, it actually shows, you know, the impact of being Santa can have on someone's life, which, you know, it's an interesting concept. Although it always baffled me how his ex-wife is, you know, spending the entire movie trying to keep his kid away from him, and yet multiple times in the movie just, you know, leaves him alone with him and just says, yeah, fuck it, he's only kidnapped him once. So yeah, the Santa Claus 1 is definitely, there's a lot of movies in this tier. Next up, the Santa Claus 2, where he has to find a wife, because if he doesn't, he's not Santa anymore. You know, according to this movie, if you don't get married, you're just useless. I wonder if the Santa Claus 4 is going to be about divorce. It's obviously very odd that, you know, they know each other about 15 days and get married just because save Christmas. You know, it seems like a lot of pressure. You don't get married to this guy and all of a sudden, you know, you're the sole reason Christmas doesn't happen. Sounds like quite a lot of pressure. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this point. It's basically just, you know, a slightly worse plot. Obviously better CGI because the first one was made in 1994 and CGI back then was not great. And obviously to make up for the slightly weaker plot, there's even more childish humor. Right, so this one is going here. Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. Easily the worst of the three. Again, slightly stupider. It's basically the subplot from the second one becomes the actual plot of the third one, where, you know, they clone Santa. Instead, this time Jack Frost wants to become Santa because he feels as if his character is useless or something like that. But you're still Jack Frost, like, freeze people if you're that bored. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of this one. I remember liking it a lot more as a kid, but then you go back and watch them and you're older and you're like, yeah, this isn't a great movie. And finally, Home Alone 3, that's right at the bottom. Alongside, I didn't put the other ones in here, but Home Alone 4, Home Alone 5, basically the rest of the Home Alone movies. Yeah, it's very easy to tell this movie was made in the late 90s because it's edgy and cool. And they basically cast the members of Evanescence as the villains. If you don't know who Evanescence are, they're the people who made Wake Me Up Inside. I can't play it for copyright reasons. Yeah, it's a pretty crap movie. And that right there is the final list. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, what have we learned today? That's right, I have great taste in movies. Anyway guys, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Obviously this wasn't an actual Christmas special due to multiple outside factors, but I do have a lot of time next week, so I do plan on getting 3 videos up if I can, in order to make up for it, alongside a few announcements. I'm sorry my voice is starting to go. But with all that said, have a Merry Christmas, and if you haven't already, watch The Muppets Christmas Carol. It's on Disney+. Please watch it, it's one of the best movies ever made. This is not a propaganda network, please watch that movie.